to the news at when? When? The 1400s, when the kings of England ended up fighting a gruesome war with their own relatives for the right to the crown. Here with more details is Bob Hale with the War of the Roses report. Bob.
Thank you, Sam. Well, the year is 1453, and that right there is Henry VI, though he could be called Henry the Sick because mentally he's rather ill. So unwell, in fact, that he can't run the country anymore. So his cousin, Richard's silly name, turns up and says he'll become Lord Protector, meaning he'll run the country while the king is ill. What a lovely chap. Or is he? You see, 50 years ago, Richard's great-great-grandpa, Richard II, was kicked off the throne by Henry's great-great-grandpa, Henry IV. So these two sides of the family aren't exactly best buddies, which is why the second Henry gets better, he takes back his crown, and fearing that cousin Dickie might still be bearing a bit of a grudge, has him kicked out of court. Boom! Good shot. So what does Dickie do? Well, since Henry is from the House of Lancaster, whose symbol is a red rose, and since cousin Dickie is from the House of York, whose symbol is a white rose, and since this report is on the War of the Roses, well, you can probably see where this is going. Yep, it's war. Dickie's men, the Yorkies, win the first battle where Henry's Lancastrian army run away. So fast, in fact, that they leave poor old King Henry sitting all alone in a tent, having once again fallen ill. So once again, Dickie becomes Lord Protector, and once again, Henry gets better, and once again, Dickie is kicked out of court. Boom! Good shot. Luckily, the Archbishop of Canterbury steps in and sorts the whole thing out by inventing Love Day, where the Yorkies and the Lancastrians walk through the high street holding hands. And I'm not even making that bit up. So it's all peace and love and harmony and kissing, although probably not the last one, and that is the end of that. Also, we thought 1459 and Dickie tries again, but fails. Yes, it's the Yorkies' turn to run away this time, but clearly not all that far away because the very next year they try yet again. The Battle of Northampton this time, where the Yorkies win and the Lancastrians run away, leaving Henry behind again. And he's found all alone in his tent again. And guess what? He's ill again. So once again, Dickie becomes Lord Protector, meaning final victory goes to the Yorkies, and that really is the end of that. Also, we thought Henry might be ill, but his wife refuses to give up. So she nips up to Scotland and borrows an army. And what do you know? Restarts the whole war. She really socks it to the Yorkies at the Battle of Wakefield, which has this effect on old Dickie boy. He's fainted. No, not really, he's only dead. Killed in battle, leaving his son Eddie to pick up where Daddy left off, which is getting beaten by Mrs. Henry. But Eddie's in luck. The people are suspicious of Mrs. Henry's Scottish army and decide they'd rather have young Eddie in charge. So he's crowned, and the Yorkies win, the Lancastrians lose, and that is the end of that. Really, honestly, this time, I promise. Also, we thought, time for the biggest battle of the entire war, though. It's bigger than that. It's bigger than that. Yep, that's about right. 80,000 soldiers, 20,000 killed. It's a massive, horrible bloodbath that sees final victory go to the Yorkies. Yes, Mr. and Mrs. Henry run away. Eddie has his coronation, becoming King Edward IV, and the country is filled with peace and rainbows and prancing lambs and pretty coloured flowers. But not for long. Eddie falls out with his chief advisor, the Earl of Warwick, which is a bad move because Warwick is also known as the Kingmaker, and he promptly makes a king. He brings back, yep, you've guessed it, Henry VI. Remember him? Well, you can forget about him because it's 1471 and Warwick is killed in battle, then Henry is executed, which means Edward can take back the crown for the Yorkies and rule the country very nicely for years and years, and that is the end of the War of the Roses. Really, honestly, this time, properly and forever, I swear. Unless you count the bit where Eddie dies and his brother Richard III takes over and then loses the crown to Henry Tudor at the Battle of Bosworth, but that bit's not important. After all, who's ever heard of the Tudors?
All right,
I know, everyone has. It was only a joke. Honestly, what is it with you people?